As you can see here, everything is randomized. So it's completely viable to run from tough monsters early game. Unless you want to have a bad time, lose and cry in the corner, then go ahead. But otherwise, fleeing definitely is a viable option. Hey everyone, this is Sir Stackhouse back with another video, and today I got something very interesting for you. So just as a little backstory, I had been looking for a light dungeon crawler for a while now. A dungeon crawler that is easy to set up, simple to play, easy to explain and teach, but most importantly, easy to get to the table. Something smaller than, for example, Gloomhaven, that you have to play an entire campaign, and there are a lot of small rules. And then Bag of Dungeon was suggested to me. This was a project on Kickstarter a few years ago, at a time when I didn't back Kickstarter projects yet. I was actually able to find this. It wasn't too easy, but I actually found it, and I will just show you how to play it and give you a little review of it. So let's take a look at the game. I already prepared a few things here, so let me first guide you through the setup. So the setup is pretty simple. You have all these dungeon tiles here that you shuffle, and then you take the exit tile and shuffle it in the lower half, like you do with a few games with an end condition. But here it's not an end condition actually. So, all right, we have our stack of dungeon tiles. Let's just put that to the side. By the way, I hope you saw that my mug is quite fitting for this game today. So, and then we'll just put all of that aside. We will need that later on. So you won't need all of that now here, like this. Okay, so, and then we have monsters and items. We will get to that soon. And one thing that's also missing is the characters, of course. So you can play this game. You can play this game also solo if you want to. Otherwise, it's up to 4 players. So let's say you would play it solo, then you would just take as many characters as you like. For example, if I take just one character, the Minotaur, then I will have a very hard game, because as soon as its health is reduced to 0, the character is dead, and we lose, because in a solo game you only have 1 life, as you can see here. So you should play it with more characters. I tried it with pretty much all constellations, and I can say that it's easiest with 4 for sure. With 1 character it's not impossible, but it's very, very tough. And if you play with more people, then each person just gets a different character. Some of them are double-sided. Let me just get up. This one isn't, but you see some of them are double-sided actually, and they are all a little bit different. They have different combat dice, they have a different number of action points, they have a different amount of health, so they actually do play a little bit differently, and some of them even have specific conditions. The Minotaur, for example, cannot use any weapons, armor, or boots. He can just use other items, so the Minotaur is even a little bit harder in my opinion. Alright, so and then you start the game by just laying out the start tile. Of course, you would need more space than I have here at the moment. If I ever did a playthrough on the channel, let me know if you're interested in that. Then, of course, I would raise the camera a little bit so we could see everything. And then then all the players get on the start tile, and you also have like some cubes here. You put 1 on your life count, 1 on your health tracker, 1 on your APs, and the other one is reserved for the monster health. We will get to that when we get to that. And then the first player starts. So let's say I'm the first player, red of course, my channel color, and then you can spend AP for different things. Either you can move, or you can also turn over a tile. So for example, let's turn over a tile. That would be 1 AP. And then I will say, okay, I will move there. That's another AP. And then I move over another tile, and you always have to see that, we can see it on camera, but here are actually walls, so you can't put anything here, of course, because you can't go through walls, because the Minotaur is not a ghost. So you see, you have to fill in the labyrinth yourself, so to speak. Okay, so then I would move again, that's another AP, and so on and so on. And now you see we have a tile with M6. This is just, the monster tiles are just numbered. This is a monster. So what you do is you take one of these tokens and put it with your red side there. And then what I would do now is, instead of going there and fighting the monster, I would say, okay, I will just finish my turn, lose all of my AP. That's something you can do. So I can start with full AP again. Then it would be the other player's turn, but I'm playing by myself, so that's fine. Okay, so, and now I can move to the tile, lose one AP, and fight the monster. Then we go to our monster bag. We draw a monster tile. Let me just give that a good shuffle here. And there we go. So we have a goblin. So we put the goblin here, and now we can fight the goblin. How that works is you take the dice, which of course I did not prepare. Shame on me. And then you would roll the die according to what is said on your character sheet here. Before we do that, I want to show you something else, because this was a Kickstarter exclusive as far as I know, so I haven't seen that at retail at all. And the Kickstarter exclusive had a dice tower that came with it, which is pretty cool. I'm not the biggest dragon fan. So yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of the dragon design, but it's well done. It's very well made. I like it a lot. And you also see the Bag of Dungeon logo there. So that's pretty cool. So when you play the game, this doesn't fit in the box, of course. You could probably disassemble it, and then it would fit in the box, I suppose. And then you can take the dice and just roll them in the dice tower. So I actually do have a dice tower now for my channel, an additional one. So I might use that off and on, but they are very loud, so I don't know how that will be on camera. But so you see here, combat 3d6 plus 1. That's similar to role-playing games, if you have ever played some. So you just roll these 3d6, and you see that I got 12 plus the 1, that's 13. And now it's the enemy's turn. The enemy has one die, it should be, plus 1. So that's a 5, plus 1, that's 6. So I had a 13, the goblin had a 6. Either the enemy or the player, whoever has the higher roll or the higher number, will deal as much damage as the difference to the lower roll. So let me put that into numbers. I had a 13, the goblin has a 6, that's a difference of 7. I have the higher count, so I would do 7 damage to the goblin. The goblin has only a health of 5, as you can see here, which I should have marked here, which I didn't do, but I did it now. So 5, so the goblin, that was directly a one-shot. I killed the goblin immediately. So, goblin is done. I don't receive anything for that. Because, as you can see here on the tracker, if the monster has 6 HP or more, then I can take 1 item. And if it has 10 HP or more, I can even take 2 items. But just for the sake of this video, let's say the goblin had at least 6 HP. Then I can go to the items pack. Give that a good shuffle, and then I can shuffle an item. For example here, this is not an item I can equip. This is just like an extra item I can have. So it's not a weapon or an armor piece, I mean. So this is the Loyal Bear. It says 1 plus 1d6 to combat roll, and on defeat, I remove the tile. It uses no inventory space, so I don't put it in my inventory. I just put it like here, right beside my character, and then I can use it for the combat roll. That's actually pretty good one. So remove on defeat, I suppose I didn't have that tile yet, but I suppose that just means that I will keep the bear until I will be defeated once in battle. And that's pretty much how the gist of the game plays. What I can also do, and when I defeat the monster, I turn over the tile to black, just because there's no new monster spawning here. So I know there already was a monster that was defeated, and that's fine. There are a few more small rules. So for example, if I get on the tile and then I draw a monster that is very tough, I can spend AP points to move to the next tile or to move back. just so that the monster cannot fight me, because monsters can only fight at close range. You can also fight at a distance if you have the appropriate weapon, if you have a bow, for example. So that's not a problem, but you can actually evade the enemy. As you can see here, everything is randomized. So it's completely viable to run from tough monsters early game. Unless you want to have a bad time, lose and cry in the corner, then go ahead. But otherwise, fleeing definitely is a viable option. That was the most important bit, but when does the game end? Well, the game ends whenever the last tile of the dungeon deck is put down. When that is the case, then the ring is put in the dungeon and a monster spawns there. So then on a specific tile, the ring spawns and a monster will spawn there too. So let's just say like this. And then you have to go there, defeat the monster and everything, and then you have the ring, and with the ring you can get to the exit of the dungeon. There is an exit tile here that is shuffled in here. If I can find it now, there it is. Some place in the dungeon there will be an exit tile. And when you get to the exit, then you can win the game if you defeat the dragon that spawns by the exit. And the dragon is very hard. The dragon doesn't have a tile. It is actually noted in the rule book. So let me just show it to you. Some place the dragon should be noted here. The other side, I think. There it is. Defeating the red dragon. You see it here. And then it says health 20, combat 4 dice. It's pretty good. It's resistant to arrows too, of course. So that one is pretty good. And there are still a few other things. Just a few more small rules. The ring, for the ring, the dice are rolled, and whatever number comes out there, the ring is put there on that monster tile. So for example, if I roll a 6, it's put it on the 6. If I roll a 9, it's put on the monster tile 9. That's also randomized. And one more thing you can do, you can also tag another player. So for example, let's say I wanted to go here and defeat that monster, but I think like, oh, it's too tough. Then I can spend 8 AP to ask another player to help me. And the player can, after I spend my AP, either agree or disagree. If the player agrees, he or she can spend as many AP as he or she needs to get to my place. So for example, let's say this was the blue player here. He still has 4 AP left. That's great. So 1, 2, 3, that would be enough to get to where I am. And then I get an additional D6 when I attack. The problem is when I die at some point, then the monster attacks the other player. So yeah, it is very risky, but it can help a lot if you have another D6, of course. I mean, that's a potential 6 more points of damage you can do. And there are some very hard enemies. This was just lucky here. But if we take a look at these, so 1 dice, there's some very tough enemies. I just can't find them now, of course. As soon as the camera is rolling, of course I can find them. But there are hard enemies. Believe me. I swear. Someplace. Well, doesn't matter. I am not going to find them now. But I mean, that's a pretty good example here. Like the snake is a pretty good example. It's 2 dice plus 6. So it has a potential of doing 18 damage. I just had 13 damage. So you see, potential of 18 damage, and I have a potential here of 19 damage. So it's pretty tough without any equipment. Okay, and I think those are the most important rules. Well, one thing is still missing. Sorry. One thing is still missing. So when you actually have the ring and you're going to the exit, it's a free-for-all. So everybody is playing cooperatively until the ring spawned. And then players can actually also kill each other and take the ring, because who exits the dungeon with the ring will be the winner. This is the competitive, the semi-cooperative competitive play, but you can also play without that you can just venture into the dungeon as a group and try to get out as a group and win together. That's actually the mode I prefer more. I do like semi-cooperative games, but I think in this game I do enjoy the cooperative play more. So, we're closing to the end of the video. That's pretty much how do you play the game. How do I like it? A lot. I really do like the game. It is extremely simple. There isn't a whole lot to the game. You just put tiles there, you explore the dungeon, you fight monsters, you have a few items you can equip here. That's cool. And that's pretty much it. It's a very simple game, but it's great because you can just set it up within this game is set up in 3, 4, 5 minutes. It's taught in 10 minutes, probably 10 to 15 minutes maximum. Probably you can teach it even quicker. And it's played, well, it does take some time to play, but I think you won't need more than 45 or 60 minutes to play that. So it's also fine. And if you're looking for a smaller version of the big dungeon crawlers, like for example Gloomhaven, then this is a very, very good choice. I just don't know how easy you can get that at retail. You might have to look at the secondhand market. That's also what I did. I don't like secondhand games too much because I'm pretty picky with my games and they need to be in like the greatest condition. But I actually found a game secondhand in very good condition, so that's fine. That might be the market where you would have to look for. But otherwise, I definitely recommend this game if you like dungeon crawlers. If you're not the biggest fan of dungeon crawlers, there definitely are better cooperative games there and also better solo games. So this is just the little addition I would give here. Okay, so that should be pretty much it. Thank you very much for sticking until the very end, and get in contact with me in the comments if you want to, or drop me a line via mail or on Twitter, and otherwise I will see you in the next video. All right, thank you very much. Take care. Bye-bye.